So today's knife is one that, you know what, let me just show you. Actions speak louder than words, don't they? Watch this. You ready? Here we go. Yeah, this knife just did that, and we're going to talk about it. And all of the specs that you are currently looking at are measurements that I had personally taken myself. So for those of you interested, good spot to pause and read. And this is the Stedemon BP02, and as usual, we'll get into what I like about this, and then we'll go over some of the potential deal breakers. First, why don't we do those size comparisons? Of course, we're going to start out with the Spyderco PM2. How about another Spyderco, the Manix 2? Oh, I know. How about a Kaiser? The Gemini, Benchmade 943. How about the Bug Out, also of course by Benchmade, and the Cold Steel American Lawman. How about just two more? The Zero Tolerance ZT 0450, and we'll wrap it up with a good old Kershaw Skyline. Now, starting out with the blade, you're looking at 3.375 inches of 440C steel that is flat ground with a black wash finish. That, to be honest, I don't normally like the black wash, but I do like it on this knife up against those tan scales. And not to mention, of course, it's going to hide wear and tear from use. The blade is 3.8 millimeters thick, so definitely decent blade stock there, and with a width, so from the spine to the sharpened edge, of just under an inch at 0.98 inches. This blade is in fact riding on ball bearing pivot with thumb stud deployment, and you can see very, very tall thumb studs. And I'm actually glad that they are this big, because it makes getting at that blade very, very easy. I mean, there are so many times, like here on the Rake P801, I mean, look at those. Especially as a lefty, it's like practically, it is up against the lock. Very difficult to get at, so I really, really appreciate those thumb studs. Definitely one of this knife's strongest characteristics is, well, that action like I displayed at the very beginning. I mean, are you kidding me? Absolute guillotine. Now, once open, it looks like that liner it's locking up very early at like about 10 to 15%. And let's take a look at that centering, which I believe is dead on. Oh yeah, and it is. Now, if we move on down to the handle, it's polymer scales just over a stainless steel liners. And those scales are in fact 4.375 inches in length, giving the BP02 just fantastic blade to handle ratio. The handle is very, very, it is comfortable. And let me see if I can try and show this. If you kind of look down the sights there, you can see it does have like it's a concave design, and there are no sharp edges anywhere. And traction is just excellent from these plastic scales, polymer scales. Now, the handle shape, it really makes it possible to grip the knife in so many different ways, and they are all, for the most part, comfortable. as I throw it. Now let's talk about this in your pocket. I absolutely love this pocket clip. And I know it doesn't look like anything special right now, but I already had loosened the screw. Look at that. It is just simply like slotted instead of like a standard pocket clip, you know, where the, you know, it'll completely, the screw hole will encircle the mounting screw. No, this is just a slot that slips on like there, hole through it, tighten it down, but it makes this knife with a 4-position pocket clip. Yeah. Now you will barely notice this in your pocket when carrying it because the handle thickness, it is over that 1/2 inch threshold, but not by much, just at 0.52, and the closed width, so how wide across, is just going to be 1.07 inches. I want to grab the scale and let's see how much this is going to weigh you down. Before I go ahead and weigh this, I just want to quickly show you that for the most part this is open construction, and it just has the one, it's a very short back spacer, and if you take a look on the inside, you can see there that yes, in fact, one of the scales at least has been skeletonized. Let's see how that affects the weight. 3.6 ounces. Nice work, Stedman. That's going to be roughly the equivalent, 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 4 AA batteries, or 1 Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Oh, hey, if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, do me a favor, would you go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. Unfortunately, now we do have to talk about some of the potential deal breakers of the BP-02, and I will start out with first potential deal breaker being, well, the detent. Let me see if I can get this. Yep, you can see that really was not very hard to shake out that blade, and let's see if you guys can notice this. Now listen. Yeah, yep, in the closed position. See if you can see this. Yeah, there is quite a bit of play on the detent when it is closed. So that kind of stinks. And some of the other potential deal breakers include, well, the blade steel 440C. Some of you do not like it. The scales being made out of plastic. The lack of jimping. And the price tag. You can pick up one of these for yourself for about 34 bucks. With 440C blade steel. You know what? Nowadays, I don't know. That's not really much of a bargain anymore, is it? So where's that leave us with the Stedemon BP-02? Well, let's talk about this. Now, if you are not excited about the blackwash blade and the tan scales, that's okay because Stedemon has you covered. This comes in a couple different scale colors and blade finishes. There's even an upgraded version of this with, it has, get this, 204p blade steel, and the darn thing cost almost 300 bucks. I think it's like 287 or something like that. I really like this knife, and I honestly wanted to love it. Now, if you're one of those people that, you don't mind any of those potential deal breakers that I discussed, then you should, without a doubt, absolutely buy this, because it's a good time. I've had a hard time putting it down because it is very, very fidget friendly, and it is a true ambidextrous knife.